Okay, so this week, we're in the last two Torah portions of the Midbar, of Numbers. There's two Torah portions this week. Matot and Messiah. Matot and Messiah. All I'm going to teach is from Matot, the first one. And it's a short, sweet little teaching, and it ties right in with last week. Remember last week we studied, remember what we studied last week? What did we study last week? Pinchas, or Pinchas. What does Pinchas mean?
The serpent, the mouth of the serpent.
Mouth of what? I can't understand what you say. Mouth of what?
Serpent?
Serpent, right? Mouth of a serpent or mouth of a snake. And Pinchas, which it might be, is mouth of comfort. Now this week, it ties right back into that teaching. So let's go to Numbers 25:10. We'll just do some quick review. This is what we looked at last week. Numbers 25:10. The Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, Pinchas ben Eleazar, the son of Aharon the priest, has turned away my wrath, because he was jealous with my jealousy. And remember, his name Pinchas could be Pinacham, which means mouth of comfort, because the final mem and the samech look almost identical. But I think God did it like that on purpose, so that we could, there's a picture set up saying that the snake is the comfort. The snake is the comfort. Very weird, I know, it's very, very weird. So now let's go to the Torah portion for this week, Numbers 30. And it says, the Lord spoke to the heads, excuse me, the heads of the tribes of the sons of Israel. Now heads is Roshé, head, literally heads. If you're not looking at your Bible, you're probably going to get lost, by the way. The heads of the tribes. Now tribes in Hebrew is matot. Say matot. Matot. Now here you can see it written in Hebrew. Matot. Mem, tet, vav, tav. Both the second letter and the fourth letter have the T sound. Matot. So the word, I mean this is tribes. This is tribes. But it's a very strange word that God gives us for tribes. It's not like the tribes, the word for tribes that he uses for every other tribe in the Bible. The Philistines and all that. All the different tribes of Moab and Midian and all of them. It's a different word. Now, to understand this, look at verse 2. If man makes a vow, sorry, not verse 2. Chapter 31, verse 2. Chapter 31 of Numbers, verse 2. And this is what God says. It says, take full vengeance for the sons of Israel on the Midianites. Afterwards you will be gathered to your people. So, in other words, Moses, do this, then you're going to die. This is Moses' last act, last thing he does. Notice that's God's picture that he sets up for us. Now, what did the Midianites do? The Midianites hired Balaam from far, far, far away. And Balaam came and he was supposed to prophesy against Israel, but he wouldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He said, all that I can say is what God, Yahweh, says to you. That's all I can say. And so they gave him money, and more money, and more money, and more money. And it doesn't matter how much money they give him, he's not able to prophesy bad things against Israel. God won't let him do it. But in the end, after he prophesies good to Israel, in the end, he figures out how to get Israel and entrap them. He gets the women, and he sends tens of thousands of Midianite women into Israel, and they have sex with them, and they turn their hearts to these demons of Midian, and it works. And he gets away with it. Balaam gets away with it. So the last act of Moses, God says, I want you to take my vengeance for Israel. I'm really mad at Midian because they attacked Israel and they got them. And he says in verse Verse 3, Moshe spoke to the people, saying, arm men from among you for the war. Now let's skip forward to verse 7. So they made war against Midian, just as the Lord had charged Moshe, and they killed every male. And they killed the kings of Midian, along with the rest of their slain, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reva, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Balaam, Ben Beor with the sword. So they got Balaam. Last thing Moses did was take vengeance for Balaam. Vengeance for God and for Israel on Balaam or Balaam. But in this war that they go to, there's a sweet little teaching here. And you have to know what a matah is to understand it. A tribe. And it's the only tribe in the Bible that God uses the word matah for. A matah is a branch, a twig, from the idea of, it shoots out from the tree. That's what matah means. It's a rod, a staff, specifically a rod for discipline, or a rod of the king, a rod for spanking, a rod for discipline. Or it could mean the discipline itself. The rod could be the discipline itself. And it means a tribe, or a branch of people, because it shoots out from the tree. But it's only used of Israel. There is no other tribe in the Bible that God says it's a branch off a tree. All the other tribes are just tribes. So, I'm like, this is weird. I mean, why use the word matah? So I went back and I looked at the different verses about matah. But they have to be matah. First one is in Exodus chapter 4. It's where God meets Moshe in the burning bush. And he says, the Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? And he said, a matah, a mateh. Then he said, throw it on the ground. So he threw it on the ground, and it, the mateh, became a serpent. There's the serpent again. There's the serpent again. Now remember, the serpent, the Nehushtan, the Nachash, was the hope of the people of Israel. It was their redemption, it was their hope. They got bit, they look up at it, boom, they're healed. It's their hope. Right? Now we see the mateh, the staff, the tribe of Israel, thrown on the ground and turns into a snake, a serpent. Same kind of picture. Are you with me so far? Now you may not see the whole thing yet, but it's the same kind of picture. Something good turns into something bad, but it's their salvation. That's the picture. Now in Exodus 4, same chapter, verse 2 through 4, it goes on, it says, verse 4, stretch out your hand and grasp it by its tail. And he stretched out his hand and caught it, and it turns back into a mateh. So therefore we know that the mateh equals what? The mateh equals nachash, a snake. Right.
It's equal 358.
Don't you dare steal my thunder. Verse 17. Don't worry, I'm going to honor you, Your Highness. Verse 17. And you shall take in your hand this mateh, with which you shall perform all the miracles. Now, isn't the miracles that God did in in Egypt for Israel, isn't that Israel's redemption? He says it over and over and over. I will redeem you. I will take you in my hand. I will take you out of Egypt.
Yeah.
That is your redemption. And it's done with a mateh, a snake. Stick. Snake. All right, so that's the picture set up for us. You don't need to know anything more than that right now. But if you can get the picture in your head, it makes sense. It's basically the same picture as the Nehushtan up on the pole. Up on the what?
On the wood.
On the wood. On the tree. It's a mateh. It's a tree. It's a branch. And there's a snake up on the branch. Yeah. So it's just repeating this image over and over. I know this is weird. Our redemption is a snake. I know it's weird. I get it. But this is the picture that God set up. Okay. Now, with Pinchas, it said, Pinchas has turned away my anger. Pinchas has turned away my anger. Nachas pi, or pi nachas. Pi nachas. Nahash. Remember, Nahas is for Nahash. That's what the rabbi said. The word Samen is for a sin, the letter sin. So Nahas means mouth of a snake, and it's their redemption, mouth of a serpent. All right. Now in chapter 30, back to Numbers, chapter 30, verse 2. If a man makes a vow, did it again. Oh no, that's right. That's just the Torah portion. It starts in 30 verse 2. Now in Exodus 7, 9 through 10, it says, take your staff from Mateh, throw it down, it will become a Nachash. Take your staff from Mateh, that it will become a Nachash again. So the redemption is the snake on the pole. It is, I know it sounds weird, the redemption of Israel is the snake, which is bad, I know it's bad, on the wood, on the pole. And we saw that Yeshua said, just like the snake on the pole had to be lifted up, so the Son of Man has to be lifted up. And he was talking about his crucifixion. So we know that. Now let's look at the rod, the mateh, for discipline. Why is it discipline? Isaiah 10. Isaiah 10. These are just some examples from which we can get, the simple doctrine or understanding of the picture that the mateh, the tribe, only the tribe of Israel, is used for spanking. Only the tribe of Israel. Isaiah 10, verse 5. This is against Assyria. Woe to Assyria, the mateh of my anger, and the staff. Woe to Assyria, the shevat, different word, of my anger, and the mateh, in whose hands is my indignation. The mateh, in whose hands, in whose dealings, is my hatred, my vengeance, my indignation. Who's the mateh? Who's the mateh? Guys, who's the mateh? Israel. It's the only tribe that God says uses the word mateh for the tribe, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, who's the mateh?
Israel.
And he says, it's kind of hard to read in English, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but in Hebrew what it says is, woe to Assyria, who is the rod of my anger, but the mateh, in whose hand, the mateh has hands that will discipline. That's what it means. The mateh itself will do the disciplining. Not Assyria is the mateh. That's not what it says. It says, woe to the rod of my anger, and the mateh is in their hand, whoever's hand, for indignation. So my question is, whose hand? Whose hand is the mateh in?
God's, I guess.
Wow, I didn't make that clear.
Or Assyrians?
The rod in the verse is who? No, the rod, not the mateh, the rod.
Oh, the rod.
Come on, guys.
The rod of my
Woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger. Who's the rod? Assyria. But the mateh is in somebody's hand to spank because I'm angry. Who's the only tribe that's the mateh? Israel. So somebody's holding Israel to spank who?
Assyria.
Okay, now you got it. Somebody's holding the mateh, the rod, to spank Assyria. Now when you read it in English, it doesn't read like that, but that's how it reads in Hebrew. So it's a little confusing. I get why you're confused. Now 10:24 says, therefore thus says the Lord God of hosts, O my people who dwell in Zion, don't fear the Assyrians who strike you with the rod. They strike you, they scourge, and strikes you with the mateh, as it was in Egypt. Now in this verse, Assyria is holding a mateh and striking Israel. Who's the mateh? Who's the mateh? Israel. But in this case, Assyria is holding Israel to spank who? Israel.
Israel, yeah.
In the way of Egypt.
The way that Egypt did.
In the way of Egypt. Who spanked Israel in Egypt?
God did.
Pharaoh. Right. Pharaoh and the Egyptians. They were constantly beating on Israel, disciplining them. They were disciplined. They were spanked. They were beaten. It's not good. But in this verse, he says, don't be afraid of the Assyrians. Well, I like it. Don't be afraid of the Assyrians who strike you with the mateh, just like it was in Egypt. So, this is Assyria spanking Israel. The only way you can spank is with the mateh. So, Israel spanking themselves in a sense. Well, when do we spank ourselves? Upset. Yom Kippur. But we repent. We spank ourselves. We repent. We spank ourselves for our sin. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In this case, God is using Assyria to do that. He's with Assyria. Basically them beating themselves. Basically them spanking themselves. I got a feeling this is not going to. Yep. This stopped working again. Get on it. I'll tell you when to go. All right, so verse 26. And the Lord of hosts will arouse a scourge against him, against Assyria, like the slaughter of Midian at the rock of Oreb, and his mateh will be over the sea. Which sea?
Red Sea.
Which mateh, which sea did it have the mateh raised over it?
Red Sea.
What?
The Red Sea.
The Reed Sea. When Moshe lifted up the staff, the matehs, and the reed, and the water split, the Egyptian went down inside, and closed back up, killed everybody, killed all the Egyptians. That was God spanking the Egyptians. Thanks, son. That was God spanking the Egyptians. Thank you. So here, the Lord's going to turn it around and scourge Assyria, because Assyria is being used to beat Israel, and so God's going to turn around and beat Assyria. His mateh will be over the sea, as he did in Egypt. As he did in Egypt. So we keep getting this picture over and over again of God using the mateh, and it's linked with Egypt when he threw it down on the ground and it turned into a snake, and then the snake was lifted up on the pole, and that was their redemption. The snake on the pole was their redemption. The rod, the mateh that turned into a snake, is their redemption. Are you with me so far? Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay. Micah, chapter 6. Oh, we got Ezekiel. Thank you. Ezekiel 7. I didn't print myself out some notes. Ezekiel 7. Verse 11. Violence has grown into a mateh of wickedness. None of them shall remain, none of their multitude, none of their wealth, nor anything eminent among them. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense unless you know what it's saying in Hebrew and you know context. Verse 10, behold the day. What day? What day? Come on, guys, you need to know this loudly. What day? Say it together. What day? It is coming. Your doom has gone forth. The rod has budded. Arrogance has blossomed. Violence has grown into a mateh. Now what it says in Hebrew is violence has arisen to mateh. It doesn't say that, like it says in English, it doesn't say violence has grown into a rod of wickedness. That is not what it says. It says this: violence has arisen to mateh wickedness. That's why we can say, what does mateh mean?
Israel.
No, what does it mean from this verse? What does it mean?
Punishment.
It is to not punish. Discipline. On the right track. Discipline. There's no such thing as punishment with God. Only with Gentiles.
Listen.
There's no such thing as punishment with Israel and with God. That's a bad thing, not a good thing. Discipline. Violence has arisen to discipline wickedness. Discipline wickedness. To maintain wickedness. All right, now Micah chapter 6. Micah chapter 6, verse 9. The voice of the Lord will call to the city, and it is sound wisdom to fear your name. Hear, O tribe, O Mate, who has appointed its time. That's it. The voice of the Lord will call to the city. That's it. The voice of the Lord will call to the city. This is really bad in verse. It is sound wisdom to fear your name. Hear, O Mate, who has appointed its time. This is really bad in English. What it says is that God is going to discipline sin. You don't get that from the verse here, do you? When you read it? Did you get that when you read it in here? I did. But that's what it says in Hebrew. I read it in Hebrew, it's really clear. The voice of the Lord will call to the city, sound wisdom to fear your name. Listen, O tribe, O Mate. Listen, O Mate. He's telling what to listen. What is he telling to listen? Israel or the staff, the Mate. He tells it to listen, or them to listen. And he says basically God's going to discipline sin. God is going to what? That's the Nehushtan. Listen, Mate. Listen, staff. What did the staff turn into? What did the staff turn into? A snake, a serpent. And he puts it up on a pole and it saves them. Listen, Mate. Listen, Mate. I'm going to discipline sin.
Yay.
That's what this is. I'm going to discipline sin. When Yeshua was put on the cross, that was the snake up on the pole. And what happened to sin? He disciplined him.
Yep.
He got spanked. Yeshua got spanked to death, basically. He was spanked to death. And it's still not punishment. It's discipline. So this, I know it's difficult to follow because you don't know Hebrew, but if you can get the simple picture, it's a sweet little picture that's the same as this. That the snake's put up on a pole, sin is put up on the pole, and God disciplines and heals them. That's sweet. Now let's go back to the Torah portion. I'm going to hold off on that. Let's go back to the Torah portion. And I'm going to show you that this continues in the Torah portion. This picture continues in the Torah portion. When did Yeshua die?
Year 4,000.
Yeah, but when? I want a date. I want a time. A year.
4,000.
What?
33 AD.
33 AD. What else?
Oh,
Come on, tell me when Yeshua
In
died.
the afternoon.
Afternoon.
Paso.
Pesach. What year?
The 7,
On the Jewish calendar.
4,000.
7,000.
Okay. I want you to start thinking about that.
3777? No,
Okay. I want you to.
3,800?
I want you to start thinking about this.
33.
Now, in Numbers,
Yeah,
in
then.
the Torah portion, when they go out to war, who's going out to war against Midian?
Mate.
The Mate. The Mate is
Israel.
The Mate is the tribes of Israel. How many Mates are there?
12.
12 tribes. Yes? Okay.
Wow.
12 tribes.
Okay.
Remember I told you last week when God repeats something, it's like yelling, like in Spanish? Strong arms. Remember? That if you repeat something, it's like emphasis. Well, if you were to repeat it 3 times, that's crazy. There's nowhere in the Bible that I know of that God repeats something 4 times. Except here. He repeats it 4 times. It's in chapter 31. Verses 1 through 3. Take full vengeance for the sons of Israel. Verse 4. 1,000 from each tribe. That's Elef Hamate. Sorry, Elef Lamate. Say Elef Lamate. Elef Lamate. That's in verse 4. Elef Lamate. And then he repeats it right after. Elef Lamate. Elef Lamate. 1,000 tribe. 1,000 tribe. And then in verse 5, he repeats it again. 1,000 from each tribe. Elef Hamate. They were furnished from the 1,000 of Israel. Elef Hamate. And then in verse 6, and Moshe sent them. Elef Hamate. How many times has he said it?
4.
How many times has he said it?
4.
How many thousands is that?
4,000.
4,000.
And then comes the war. And then comes the discipline on sin by the Mate.
The year 4,000.
The year 4,000 is when Yeshua died. The year 4,000 is when Yeshua died. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. At the end of day 4, Yeshua died. 4,000 years. Elef Hamate, Elef Hamate, Elef Hamate, Elef Hamate. Now discipline sin. And Yeshua dies. So Israel acted out exactly the same thing as Yeshua. Israel acted out the exact same thing as Yeshua. This is only one example out of about 135 million examples in the Bible. This is one where Israel is exactly the same as Yeshua. Israel is Yeshua. I'm not saying, we worship Israel. I'm saying that God created Israel to reflect Yeshua perfectly. When Yeshua came to earth, he reflected Israel perfectly. Israel is the embodiment of Yeshua. Yeshua is the embodiment of Israel. They're the same. They are the same thing. They're exactly the same thing. Now, there's one little set of verses that say this very, very clearly. You don't have to turn to it. I'm just quoting it. One is in Isaiah chapter 5. My beloved had a vineyard on a very fertile hill. He digged, he planted, he mowed it, took care of the ground, he raised a tower in the midst of it, and he looked for it to yield good grapes, but it didn't. It didn't. It brought forth garbage grapes, and I couldn't make the wine, and I couldn't drink of it. So are you, O house of Israel. And the psalm is called the Song of Israel. And then in John chapter 15, Yeshua says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you live in me, you'll bear much fruit. How can he be the vine? I thought Israel was the vine.
Right. He's Israel.
He's Israel. Israel is him. They're the same. So that's a sweet little way to remember how the two are exactly, precisely the same. That's why Yeshua dying in the year 4,000 is reflected in Elef Hamate, Elef Hamate, Elef Hamate, Elef Hamate. 4 times. 4 rods, Mates, 4,000 somethings. In this case, 4,000 years. And then comes discipline. Hamate. Make sense?
Yeah.
And now we go back to John 3. Just as Moshe lifted up the Chushtan in the desert, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. And that's why Yeshua said that. Because that was discipline on sin. Now, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. I never knew this. That Mashiach is exactly the same in Gematria as Nachash. Nachash is serpent. Mashiach is Messiah or Christ.
Wow.
And they're the same in Gematria. 40 plus 300 plus 10 plus 8. 358.
Wow.
Nachash, 50 plus 8 plus 300. 358. So there's confirmation that Yeshua, the snake was a picture of Yeshua, but only in discipline for sin. Only in him being lifted up on the cross to discipline or spank to death.
Discipline
Sin. Yeah. 2 Corinthians 5:21. He who knew no sin, he didn't know any sin, became sin. Became sin. So we can see that Yeshua and Israel, at least in this case, matches perfectly. This is one out of millions of examples in the Bible. So this is all I have for this week, a sweet little teaching, just to show you that if you look carefully, but you got to look carefully, you can see these correlations between Yeshua and Israel all the time. And it lays out God's plan, his whole plan, his 7-day plan of 6 days and then the Shabbat. And this happens millions of times in the Bible. So let's pray. Lord, thank you for Yeshua being spanked to death. Thank you that Israel is your mate for discipline, and that we can discipline ourselves so that we can judge ourselves so that we won't be judged. You say that in your word. Judge yourself so that you won't be judged. I thank you, Abba, that we can examine our own heart and mate ourselves, Israel ourselves, discipline ourselves so that we don't have to be disciplined by you. And thank you, Abba, for Israel, for Zion. And we ask that you would implant your love for tzion, your love for Zion in the rest of your body more and more. Let that increase more and more so that they see the pictures that are in your word. In the name of Yeshua. Amen.